everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is kind of like a little before and after video here. Do you remember this little guy that I took in right here? Okay, ain't she a beauty? Ooh. This must have been one of those Friday paint jobs. Oh, ain't that nice. But it's got its zinc. It's got its zinc. Yummy. Ain't she a beaut? I went ahead and pulled the power head on this very salty 15, and this is some of the typical damage I'll find on one of these when I pull them. It's quite common on these ones that have the plastic top on the carburetor. There you go, and there you go. You can see the top's broke, so we'll replace that. Also, here's the infamous on the mag plate. Your wide open butterfly throttle adjustment, something another. That little deal right there. Almost always broken. Goes right there. As the mag plate comes around, it operates the roller cam. And this is to adjust your butterfly wide open throttle kind of deal so it sets level and such. They're always broken. And then, of course, the main reason to pull the power head on one of these old salty ones is to get at the grommets. And there they are. And you can see very little, probably hardly any at all, water was getting through that grommet there. The exhaust one, even though it don't look too collapsed, it's still full of salt and everything. But you can see the upper one right there is collapsed and virtually no water getting through that thing. So even if the power head runs good, which I believe it will, she's salty. But you've got to pull that off and do them grommets, or else the thing won't cool itself when they've been sitting for any length of time, which this one has. And there's what's left of the pan, so that'll all have to be washed thoroughly. Good hot soap water, Purple Power, scraping, a little wire brushing, and then I'll get some semblance of paint. There's the lower unit that came out, came off just fine. And so everything's got to be washed, cleaned. Jesus, all Alright. Coming along on the little 1990 15. It's looking pretty good. I got most of that shale and scale and crapiola off of the off of the lower cowl pan, the midsection. I've got the lower unit outside in my Connex drying with a coat of primer on it. This one I had to get the shale off. I'm gonna do a little more wire wheeling and sanding on it, but it's coming along looking pretty good. It's not all pitted up or anything. Looking pretty good. And I'll get a coat of primer and some paint on that. I'm actually gonna probably, being that the paint's mostly gone on this, it's what I call a Friday engine, because there is no sign of primer under that paint anywhere. So, but I'll get a coat of primer on it, and I'm thinking about painting it with that metallic charcoal. I like that paint. It goes on good, covers well, and it looks pretty good to me. And there's the power head. As you can see, she's all cleaned up. New grommets in them pickup and discharge tubes. So she's about ready to go back on. All I got to do is get everything all cleaned up so it has something back to go on too. Okay, so you could see she was a little bit rough. So let's take a look at it now, what I did to it, and we'll give it a little test run, see how she runs. So let's take a look. Let me get you down. Whoops. Here we go. So there's the little gem now. Yeah. I kept the paint scheme on it pretty simple. Came out really nice. I'm pleased with it. Nothing special, just a nice little 15 short shaft, all re-grommeted, and looks pretty good. So let me get her in the tank and we'll get that hood off and get some fuel hooked up and give her a little run. Okay, got her in the tank. And as you can see, 55 degrees, 54, 54. So she is nice and cold. So I got the fuel hooked up, and I'm going to squeegee that bulb. Pull that choke and let's see what we get. New grommet, new impeller. He's really good. Forward. Neutral. Reverse. Nice little kicker. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. Light, a lot of horsepower in that small package. We'll have no problem selling that one. New grommets, new impeller. Took the starter apart, the recoil starter, cleaned it all up, cleaned up the coils, nice dielectric on everything. I put a new transom clamp, it was missing one. Wire wheeled it, painted it with metallic charcoal paint, and went out and got one of my old hoods and cleaned it up a little bit, put it on there. Time to get that one out for sale. Okay, so there's a little bit of before and after on the little 15 that came in salty, crusty, corroded, rusty. It was one of those engines that Evinrude OMC decided, nah, primer? We don't need no stinking primer. So, that's one of those. Oh dear. Oh dear. Give me just a second. Don't go away. There's a bunch of them. Wah, wah. Sick of blacktail. Anyway, sorry about that. And thanks for watching.